from Central Asia and Middle East. Her occupational health and safety experience, from a psychological background, multicultural upbringing, and fluency in several languages. That makes her an excellent communicator. I do agree with that, Lamis, by the way, trainer and a leader. She's a dedicated, structured, solution-driven professional with excellent technical and analytical skills. She builds a positive work culture via consultative knowledge-sharing leadership style, ensuring her role influence organizational culture in a positive way, at the same time ensuring best practice, legal compliance, and delivery of organization vision and strategy. Currently, Lamis is a freelancer, and she's a freelancer consultant, and she is representing BASMA. I know, and the topic as well will reference BASMA. So she is representing BASMA in the Middle East. Lamis has been with BASMA since May 2018 as part of her role as the Middle East representative. Lamis worked with local government stakeholders such as BWA here in Qatar, like Ashghal, who is doing all the kind of the construction stuff for us, BDO, Dubai municipality, and more, to raise awareness on safe working at height. Just to remind all of you that working at height remains the most dangerous activity in construction industry. So please pay attention to Lamis on these important updates that she will be delivering. And with that, join me to welcome Lamis. So Lamis.
Thank you very much for the introduction. Yeah, it's difficult to follow from that now. But, I'll try my best. I'll try my best. Good evening, everybody, and thank you for having me at your branch meeting. Years ago, I was a member of the same branch when I was based in Qatar, so it's nice to be welcomed back again to see you. Unfortunately, of course, virtually, not face to face, but hopefully in the future I'll see everybody and meet everybody and network face to face. So the presentation that I'm making today, I'm making it, as Ahmed said, as part of my role as the Middle East representative for PASMA. And PASMA is Prefabricated Access Suppliers and Manufacturers Association. That's the full name for PASMA. So just very briefly, for those who don't know of PASMA, I'm not going to talk about PASMA as an organization too much because I've done this presentation before, but we are an international not-for-profit organization that works with the industry, with those that work with mobile access towers. We promote safe use of mobile access towers. Some of you might call them even mobile scaffolding, but it's the same. And we are a recognized authority on mobile access towers. Mobile access towers or scaffolding allow for safe work at height. It is one of the ways that you can work at height safely. Obviously, you have to choose the correct piece of equipment for that. So although mobile access towers are brilliant, they're not always the best solution. So I'm not saying here in my presentation that this is the only solution. But they are made from prefabricated components. They clip together with no need for tools, come in a kit format, and they should come with detailed instruction manual of how to put them together. Just quickly for as a reminder, so in QCS 2014 in section 11, on work at height. This is the statement as taken as it is from that section. It states that here or in Qatar, the two methods that PASMA has developed, advanced guardrail system and the through the trap system, are considered the best industry practice in Qatar. It doesn't say that they are the only ways or mandated, but when terminology like best practice is...
Sorry, can you share your slides, please?
Sorry?
Can you share your slides, please?
You can't see the slides?
No.
I've been talking now forever. Because I can see the slides.
We saw that this is like an intro to the slides.
All of that was intro to the slide. Okay. Can you see the slides now, guys?
Yeah.
Okay.
Let
me just do the screen share. 1 second. Slideshow. Okay.
Yes, perfect.
So yes, so when regulatory bodies write that something is best industry practice, it means that in case there was an incident, they really will ask, how come did you not use one of the two methods of assembly and dismantling the towers? Can you prove that your method was better than the one advised by ourselves as best industry practice? So this is in Qatar, and as Ahmed said, we work very closely in Oman and in UAE for the Middle East. Across the world, it's Singapore, Malaysia, South Africa, Northern Europe, and so on. So today I'm not going into the PASMA as it is. I'm going into more the standard, which is a European standard, EN 1004. Started off as a British standard years ago, but it's a European standard now. The standard, as you might know it, and as it is referred to in a lot of documents, would have been referred to as BS EN 1004. It was published in 2004. However, it's been updated, and now it's BSEN 1004 Part 1, which was published last November, and will, at the moment, both standards are applicable and available. However, in November 2021, the 2004 standard will be obsolete. This is important. Mainly, the standard is written for manufacturers. So the standard is for how to design and manufacture mobile access towers. However, it is important, so I don't know whether there are anyone here or anyone in the group that works for a manufacturer in here, but for the end user, it is important to know what are you purchasing, what are you procuring, and what are you using on site. Of course, those who already have all the versions of the towers, they're still working versions. But if you're buying new towers, it is advisable to request that they have the conformity certificate now to the new standard. It's called Part 1 because there will be Part 2 and Part 3 coming out within the next 2 to 3 years. They will cover different topics, but related to mobile access towers. So Part 2 will cover how to write the manual for the tower, so that the manual is clear and understandable by the end user when they want to assemble and dismantle a tower. And Part 3 will cover low-level towers. So towers that are 2 meters and below. Of call them low-level towers, or some people might call them room scaffolds, room towers, and so on. So what's new? So what's new in part one? Previously, the scope of EN 1004 covered towers from 2.5 meters up to 8 meters outdoors and 12 meters indoors. The upper platform height has not changed. So it is still 8 outdoors, 12 indoors. However, the lower part has changed. So now the towers start from 0. So this design actually starts from 0 to the top. This is something that manufacturer will obviously need to take into consideration when they design their towers, and they will need now to look into the stability of the tower, the caster wheels, and so on, which previously the designers didn't have to look into that and take that into consideration. So now the design will also explain in more detail the different parts of the towers. For those of you who use towers, you might have sometimes questioned things. For example, okay, it says you can't use a tower when it's too windy. So what do I do if I already have a tower assembled? What do I do with it if the wind picks up? So these are the areas that the new standard covers. So it covers, for example, that you can move the tower. So the tower should be designed in a way that in high winds, it can be moved safely for a short period from outdoors, indoors, for example, or dismantled very quickly. But design will have to take that into consideration. And obviously, if design takes that into consideration, that's passed on to the manufacturers. The towers still, what's not new, and I know it's in this slide, what's not new, it is still for short duration tasks. This is not new. However, EN 1004 did not say that. We all knew that towers or mobile towers or towers made of aluminium are for short duration jobs. But now the standard actually mentions that, and designers have to clearly specify that later in their instruction manual. It will have one working platform at a time. Should not be used with personal fall arrest equipment. And I know this is a topic of controversy and a lot of debate in the Middle East. Do we use full harnesses on towers, or do we not use full harnesses of towers? It's like the vaccinations, against or for the topic. But the standard now clearly identifies it, that you cannot use full fall arrest with towers. You can use lanyards to stop you moving too far, but you cannot use fall arrest with the towers. And now also the design requires that there are inbuilt means of access to the tower. So these are the main changes to the standard. It also identifies shorter distance between the two platforms, or between the different platforms. It's been previously it was 4.2 meters. It has been reduced to 2.25 meters. Also, the distance between the ground and the first platform has been reduced from 4.6 meters to 3.4 meters. there should be a mean of securing the platform on both ends. Again, this is something for designers to take into consideration. Different dimensions for site protection. So there's a lot of areas that, as end users, one would have thought of when using towers, that were not there in the minimum standard, and obviously the designers didn't take that into consideration then, but these have been addressed now in the new standard. So manufacturers, in preparation for November 2021, and we're working very closely with different manufacturers, they have to really check their designs, amend their designs to ensure that the minimum standards have been included into their new towers. For a lot of manufacturers, that might not even be the case. Some manufacturers that are well developed, they already have taken that into consideration. So they weren't just building to the minimum requirements. In the Middle East, we'll probably have a bigger workload, as to say, and bigger interaction with the manufacturers, because the minimum standard is at a much lower level. To my knowledge, in Qatar, we just now have a manufacturer that is starting to build towers to EN 1004. The manufacturer is working towards full membership of PASMA as well. Just to clarify, manufacturers can be manufacturing to the standard and have the product conformity. Doesn't mean they have to be PASMA members. So PASMA membership is not something that mandated on manufacturers. They can become PASMA members, and that just gives them more reassurance for the end user, will know that PASMA had double checked the certification and the paperwork that the towers are manufactured to the correct standard, and that PASMA undertakes the annual audits. However, it is not a requirement, but to my knowledge, there are no manufacturers in Qatar. So the only manufacturer, and hopefully will be coming on as a full member of PASMA, will be AFIX Scaffolding, and I have a slide with the members there. They will have to also revise their instruction manuals. So one of the benefits for manufacturers that become PASMA members, PASMA's technical team will work with them on the manufacturer manual. So they can write as many drafts as possible, and the PASMA technical team will help them review the manuals and improve it together with them. The whole idea of the manual is that the end user can open it, read it, and clearly understand, how do I assemble or dismantle a tower? So that's another thing that will happen for the manufacturers. And new designs may appear for towers less than 2 meter platform height. And I've mentioned that before, but it is an important one because these towers are used a lot, which are the room towers or anything that below 2 meters. Facilities management use them extensively. And sometimes even malls, universities, or other locations will have or own their own tower. So it's the new designs will be to a minimum standard, and that's another good area or something to look out for manufacturers. Now, I am actually done with the presentation on the standard. I will talk a little bit about our members in Qatar and how people can be trained, but are there any questions? I see, are there any questions on the chat about the standard and the changes?
Lamis, we have a lot of questions are flowing into the chat room.
Oh, is
Once
it?
you're done with your presentation, then I will moderate that. I will ask the questions. Is that okay?
Oh, okay, yeah. Okay. Okay, that's good. So for a lot of you, you might already know these members. These are PASMA members, and they run PASMA training in Qatar. And here you have AFIX Scaffolding is our at the moment working towards manufacturer member, but we are really hoping that it's only a matter of a few weeks before they are full members of PASMA. Working towards is a category that is being introduced very recently, mainly for manufacturers. It's because the process of getting product conformity is a complex process. So PASMA is there to help. It's working towards members with that process where they can find testing centers and what is actually a genuine product conformity and what is a just an inspection certificate that states that it is a product conformity certificate. Then the other members are training members, and they run PASMA Towers for Users, PASMA low-level training, and PASMA Towers for Managers courses. All of these, they're one-day courses, and they're meant for anyone that uses, assembles, dismantles, inspects towers. So I'll stop here. If you have a lot of questions, let's start with some and see how many we can actually fit.
Okay. Thank you very much, Lamis, for that informative presentation. And I know for all the safety professionals, this is one of the quite interesting subject because everyone deal with this work at height. Okay, there are a lot of questions are coming in. Number one question is, you spoke about there is a standard revision that is EN 1004 2020. In the earlier standard, it talks about the outdoor, the maximum height is the 8 meter, right?
Yes.
Yeah, okay. Is there any the changes in the height in the new standard, or this height is going to be the same?
No, so the upper height, both for outdoor and indoor, stays as it was in the 2004 standard.
Yeah, 2004. Yeah.
8 outdoors, 12 indoors. So that doesn't change. No.
That doesn't change. Okay.
Now, just to clarify, there are towers that are built and allow for higher, but those manufacturers will then now need to go outside the scope of EN 1004, and there are additional standards to allow them manufacturing at a higher level. So they'll have 2 products conformity certificates.
So
we don't have them in the Middle East, though. So just to clarify, we don't have them in the Middle East, but they are available in the market. Yeah.
So the point is, more than 8 meter, any platform has to be done. EN 1004 is not applicable, right?
No, it will be outside the scope of EN 1004. Yeah.
Okay, thank you. Thanks for that clarification. And we have another question from Alrin. What is the difference between the PASMA and NASC, the National Access and Scaffolding Confederation? Is there any difference? Any idea?
My face tells you that there is. I don't even. Yeah, it sounds like it's a scaffolding, so it's probably
Exactly. To my understanding, that talks about scaffolding, whereas
Yes.
this talks about the platform, working platform. That includes the manufacturing of the platform also.
So the difference between scaffolding, so the traditional scaffolding, with the tower, it's the manufacturer that designs it and manufactures it. The assembler doesn't do any design anymore. Where with scaffolding, scaffolds get designed depending on the job. Where here you bring a tower, you assemble it, you don't need any tools, and you use it. And it's aluminium as well.
Okay. And another question, is there any changes in the training? For example, if somebody is trained with the old standard, that is EN 1004, 2004, with the new revised the standard, the competent person has to go for another training, or is that still valid?
No, it's still valid. It's
Still
still
valid.
valid. It's still valid because the standard is for the manufacturer, not for the end user.
Okay, thank you. And another important question, that number of questions on this particular topic is why it is advertised not to use the Polaris system in the mobile towers.
So, the mobile towers are aluminium. There are some fiberglass now as well. Again, not available in the Middle East, but there are fiberglass. But we move away from what's not available here. So in the Middle East, it's aluminium. Aluminium is very light. Mobile towers are not really attached to anything. They're freestanding on wheels.
Yeah.
If somebody has a fall arrest, so a full body harness, and they fall, they take
Whole platform will fall.
Yes, they take the tower with them. So the tower will fall on them as well. And also, if you're not careful with your understand, so if you're only using the tower at 4 meters or at 3 meters, for example, your harness might not be sufficient. And there is that, and there is that fake sense of safety. I have a harness, I can now step and lean a little bit more because if I fall, I won't touch the ground. So that's really, but it is mainly because if you fall, you take the tower with you. That's what you do.
Okay. Just to add on this particular question, because there were a lot of questions, at least around 10 to 12 questions on this particular topic, because generally as a ground rule, we say that if the height is above 1.8 meter, you need to use the full body harness. Most of the time that we go with that rule book and we enforce, people have to follow that. I suggest all of you, I was just going through the PASMA website. There is a study and research done on the fall protection, how fall protection system works, why it has to be used, why we should not use. I suggest all of you to go through that. That will give you a fair idea on this particular topic. That's PASMA Fall Protection Review Final Report. That's available in the pasma.co.uk website, just for clarification.
Thank you.
And we have a few more questions.
I actually think now I might be jumping my gun. There is the QCS 2014 is supposedly changing soon at some point.
Still big questions going on for a long.
Well, we've seen the new version because in PASMA symposium that happened just before the pandemic that we did in Qatar, engineer Ihab presented on it, and he showed the slides on the new version, and in there it states it now in bold that you do not use harness.
Okay.
Yeah. It's same in like PDO and Dubai municipality. They've now made it in more clearer languages to say that you don't use it. Yeah,
we are also looking forward for the updated QCS.
one day.
Okay. There's one more question. Are the step ladders with working platform covered in this standard? Or even the access to the platform?
So if they are within the platform, which they should be, yes, they are covered in that standard. So as you can see, as you saw on one of the slides, one of the main changes is that now we have to have an inbuilt access within the tower. Now, if we're talking about the previous standard, most of good quality towers would have had the inbuilt ladders on them. But if you're talking just step ladders that you decide to use to climb onto no, they will not be covered in this standard. There is a different standard for ladders.
I would suggest, because when we talk about the 100% tie-up the safety harness, as a safety professional, we need to do the risk assessment to that particular point. Is it really required? Even if it has to be required, some of the members have given a suggestion also. Yes, it has to be hooked on the permanent structure which is close to the tower. Yes, indeed, it's a good suggestion, good recommendation. But again, everything it's based on the situational based risk assessment, that what we are doing, what is required. Accordingly, that we need to take a call on.
That's a very good point. The only issue is towers are hardly ever used near somewhere where, because they are really short duration.
Where there is no access actually.
You climb you've assembled it, you've done the assembly yourself, you're on the top level. Now you've got to look for somewhere to hook it. That's the reality. But if there is something that you can hook onto, that's acceptable. Don't forget, if you're hooking onto something, has it been tested?
Sure.
Inspected? Yeah.
Okay. Let me go through the chat room if there is another questions. Most of the questions are related to the safety harness.
Maybe we need another presentation just on that.
Yep.
If you don't mind the debate.
Is there any counterweight at the bottom of this working platform?
No.
I don't see.
No.
It's Mirza, I hope that that answered your question. There is no counterweight in the platform. It's not any crane or lifting equipment. It is a platform, aluminum. This basically an aluminum platform.
I think I might have a picture somewhere. I mean, it's on the side here. Really, I don't have a clear picture. It's on the side. But it's no. So it's not a lifting equipment. It's a working platform.
Correct. Thank you, Lamis. I don't see any other questions other than this particular topic. Yeah, thank you very much. Do you have anything? A few more slides to share?
No, I think I just went back looking for a picture, but I didn't have a picture. That's
okay.
No, that's it. I'd like to say thank you as well for you to having me, and I might stay on if there is the next presentation and listen.
Okay. Again, last question has just come in. That says Outrigger part of the design, regardless of the height of the platform. Is it part of the EN 1004?
The new one.
Yeah.
So the new one will have that as part of the design. Yes.
Okay. Probably no. It gives an idea about what is EN 1004 is all about. You just throw a light on that. Okay. Being a safety professionals, all of us should go through in detail. Okay, because it's very difficult to explain each and every element of the EN 1004. It gives you a kind of enlightenment when we go back and when we do work and we are doing a risk assessment. It's a great opportunity for us to look into this particular standard, how we can improve the the workplace, or in terms whenever we are working at height, or to do the best practices, to implement the best practices in the workplace. Thank you very much, Lamis, on that, for sharing your knowledge with us. And now, before I say thanks to all other role players, may I request, we have with us our IOSH council member, Mr. Akhil from UAE. May I request he would like to share a few thoughts and a few message on the council election to all the members. So may I request Mr. Akhil on the stage, on the screen. Yeah, Akhil, you can just unmute. Yes, Akhil, screen is yours.
Yeah, thank you. So thank you, Venkat, once again, and Ahmed and all the committee members. Lamis, as usual, an excellent presentation again. So yeah, so I just thought of pop in for just 10 minutes and say a few words about the IOSH Council elections, which all of you might have seen by now, the announcement through the emails, through the social media channels and everything what IOSH is promoting. So yeah, I just thought of say a few words about the IOSH Council election this year. I'm sure many of you are willing to put forward yourself for the elections, and that's what we all need at the end of the day: diversity, people representing from all the regions, especially from our region. Okay, so what I think I would just start with a short summary of how the IOSH election happened last year and what is going to happen this year. So if you look at overall, say there are 56 candidates put in their nominations and they stood in for the council elections last year. Okay, so the people are coming from different membership grades, a different level, different nationalities. So we had a huge number of representation that last year in the IOSH council election. And remember, we have 12 council roles to fulfill typically every year, end of every year. 12 council members goes out completing their 3-year term out of the council every year. It can be a corporate member. When I talk about corporate member, it can be chartered membership and above, or as a regular member, anybody comes below that. People can stand in for election. All the IOSH members are eligible to stand in for the election into the council. Doesn't matter you are the membership level at all. Okay, so let me start with this year's. So all of you have seen the nominations or the stage 1 application gone out on 1st of July, right? So this is closing on 22nd of July. That's the first stage IOSH has. So what happened in the previous years, it was just one stage of election where you put your nominations in, okay? If it's 56 members used to fight out in the election. Okay, this year it has been changed. It has been moved to a different stage process. So stage 1, stage 2, and stage 3 processes. Okay, the first stage, like I mentioned, it's your initial application stage. You have to submit your applications through the nomination site, which you can see in the email you have received from the IOSH official email on the election. Okay, or else the committee members from Qatar can share it through their official channels. It can be through the LinkedIn page, or it can be through a WhatsApp page if to show if anyone is interested in it. Okay, that's all about the stage 1 application. So remember, stage 1 application can be n number of candidates. Okay, so this year what happens after the stage 1? Okay, stage 1 process is bit more elaborated this year. Okay, there will be a lot of questions this year, and all the questions will be based on the competency criteria for the IOSH council member. Say, take an example, there are 100 members put forward their applications this year. Okay, based on a scoring system by an expert committee, after the stage 1, it will be cut down to 36 candidates. Okay, which means if you put in your nomination, it doesn't guarantee you a spot as a candidate to contest in the election. So it will go down to the 36 candidates. So I recommend when you put in a nomination, make a clear case where why you want to be a council member. It has to be a clear case. The process is bit tightened, stringent this year to make sure that we have the top people contesting for this. Okay, so remember, stage 1 application open on 1st July, closes on 22nd July. After the stage 1 application, review and everything, it will be only 36 candidates. Okay, now we are moving to the stage 2. What happens in the stage 2? So these 36 people or 36 candidates will undergo a panel interview. Okay, typically I think the panel interview will be held between 16th of August and 26th of August. Okay, so the panel interview session, which include you have to present for 5 minutes and you will have to face 2 panel questions. Okay, and again, there will be a scoring system used to measure all these 36 candidates. So after the end of all the interviews for the 36 candidates, again, there is a short sizing. Okay, so these 36 candidates now will become 24 candidates. And to say those are the final 24 people contesting to fill 12 roles in IOSH Council this year. Okay, so that's 24 people. Even if IOSH receives n number of nominations, so we will have to bring it down to 24 to make sure that top 24 people contest for the 12 role we have. And the election process with these 24 candidates will start from 13th September and the voting closes on 14th October. That's the process. Okay, so these 24 candidates will have an opportunity to have short description. They have an opportunity to present themselves with a short video, everything. These will go in the official election page. So when you're trying to vote, you can see their description and a short video from their side. So you go through the descriptions, read the short video, and you can vote for the best candidates. That's a second stage. Of course, we will be happy to come and present to you at that stage also with the 24 candidates, who they are and how to vote for the council. But now it's all about, if you're interested to put yourself forward, come on, I encourage all of you to do that. It's a great opportunity to represent the profession. So I'm in this role for the last 2 years, and I get a lot of opportunity to raise your voice to the council. A lot of concerns, I'm sure I'm successful in raising. It's not only about raising your concerns, I get good opportunity to interact with all the chairs across the world, across the Middle East. A lot of things happening with the support of these chairs. We can change a lot of things. Okay, I think that's mainly about the IOSH Council, which I just thought share with you all. So yeah, my final word is all about, if you're interested, put yourself forward and make a clear case. That's the most important part this year to be successful in the IOSH Council election. So before I wind up, Venkat, so if we have Ciaran here today, so I would welcome Ciaran to say a few words. Of course, you'll be happy to say more words than me. Of course, Ciaran, stage is yours. I'm giving it over to you.
Ciaran. Yes, Ciaran, you may accept that. Yeah.
How you doing, guys? Yeah, definitely. I'll be standing for council again this year. So what it is you all have my contact details. You've got Akil's details. Folks, it's very, very simple. This is your institution. You have the opportunity to go along and make the difference, as you see in the video that I did for it. So you've got a very, very strong, vibrant branch out there. I've said it a number of times. So I'm putting it up to you. Very, very simple. Go along, fill out the process, put yourself forward. There's a governance team who will support you. And I'll be very honest, I think, right, with the quality that I have seen in the Middle East, and especially Qatar, I mean, I really think that you need to have people on council, and it's all about diversity. Akil will tell you, we've been going along, we've been pushing. If you remember last year, I was pushing the message every opportunity I got. And I think it was 56, if I'm not mistaken. I tried for 60 and I did, I nearly got killed by governments because they asked were they going to pay me for commission for the amount of people that I got in. So what it is, and also if you think about it, and I'm sure that Akil will support me in this, that feedback after the election process was that, you know, there was too many people in 24 candidates to earn, you know, the 56. So what it is by this open and transparent process that you'll go along and be eventually shortlisted down to 24 candidates, then it's going to be easier for you. And what it is I'm going to be, as Catherine Daly knows me from Dublin, I say it as I say it. What it is, you know, we want people who are actually going to do the work of a council member, who aren't there just to put it on their CV. I've got no time and I've got no interest in people like that, nor is Akil, nor is the vast majority. We want people who are going to go along and assist in the development. And remember, folks, this year is going to be very, very important. And Akil has been one of our finest ambassadors in council in relation to the strategy. Remember, next year is the end of 2022. We have a new chair for our board of trustees. So this is your opportunity to have a say in how IOSH is going to go for the next 5 years. So hopefully you'll have a look. And also those of you who are up for, are interested in vice president to meet the criteria, that email has gone out earlier this morning as well. So, and you know, for God's sake, right, get in there. I don't mind if you defeat me. I'll have peace and quiet for 3 years. So please go forward for it. Thanks very, very much for the opportunity to speak, Akil, and very good. And talk to you soon, guys.
Thank you very much, Karen and Akil. There's one question from one of our active member, Miza. I'm sure it is in the IOSH website as well in the email received from the IOSH on the council election. What are the criteria, the scoring criteria for the shortlisting of IOSH, the nomination? I'm sure it is available in the website. Yeah. Kiran, you want to answer?
Why could I make a suggestion, which is that, and I know that it's been offered in the past, why don't you invite either Lou Hall or Laura to come on, right, and have a few words. And what it is, right, is no disrespect to Akil or myself, but at least, right, if they get it wrong, their staff are they're paid to do it, right? So what is it? I would go along, Lou, Laura, or Natalie would be the best people from the governance team, and then you could have a session with that, and you could also, you know, ask her to raise, you know, discuss about the vice presidential role and what the scoring criteria is for the council elections. You may have a problem though if this gets known. You might have a few thousand people attending the meeting instead of your normal nearly 200. So that's what I would do. lou.hall@iosh.com, give her a shout, or laura.miles@iosh.com.
What I would suggest is, you know, the individual those who are interested, you just click on that link, email what you have received, follow the process. You will come to know that each criteria, when you're applying that, you will see that the criteria on which basis you will be shortlisted. It's already there.
Yeah, but they have offered it anyway. So look, all I'm saying to my friend is, you know, if it's available, take it. And as I said, and remember, as I said, those of you who are in the room, you can meet the criteria for vice president. Be nice to see a vice president from your region.
True.
Sure.
Thank you very much, Kiran and Akil.
Sorry, Venkat, just a quick one, just as an answer to that question. So I think at this stage, those scoring criteria is unknown for us also, like Sierra said, but a few of the council members are opted out to the interview panel, which I mentioned in the stage 2 process. So maybe I have put my name forward as one of the interview panelists, or maybe many of those people should have put forward. So basically, even we don't know at this stage that what is the process or something. What we know, only thing is that what questions you need to answer to meet that criteria, to put forward those 6 key questions what you have to answer, which is available for all the candidates putting their nominations together. So just try to focus on that rather than going to the next level. What will be the scoring system? Put your best answers in for those questions. That's the first stage.
Yeah. Thank you very much, Akhil and Kiran, for your valuable time and attending our Qatar branch meeting. Thank you. A special thanks to Kiran for regularly attending our meetings and giving us boost to our members and committee members. And thank you very much to Lamis, today's presenter. And you've been awesome. And the knowledge you have shared, it is very, very important for all of us to, it gives an energy to learn new things in terms of working at height and the platforms. And all the attendees, the IOSH Qatar branch members, may I request all of you to switch on your camera? We can even take the group picture. Yeah. Thanks for joining. The amount of support all the members, you all giving to the committee members gives us energy to do much better in our upcoming meetings. Every meeting, we see not less than 100 attendees. That shows, how much faith all of you are having in terms of running the IOSH Qatar branch. And without your support or participation, we cannot do anything. Yeah. Thank you very much for joining our monthly meetings and giving us a tremendous support. And again, thanks to Catherine for being always there for us to coordinate and conducting the meetings. Thank you very much, Catherine.
And
I hope I have thanked everyone. Yes, Ahmed.
Yes, just a quick one. I have a friend of mine who has joined us the first time, so I just would like to welcome him as well for on this IOSH Qatar branch. Kevin Pollitt. Kevin, welcome to Qatar branch. Thank you very much for joining us, and we're looking forward to have you in a presentation for the branch. Thank you, and thank you, Lamis. Thank you again.
Hello, Kevin. Thanks for joining.
Thank you.
And